It is the Unash and Dukes podcast, midweek edition, presented by Emel's Hideaway, First Avenue Southeast in Cedar Rapids, right across from the Lindale Mall and next to the Home Depot. Welcome aboard. It's Wednesday, and that means Mark Ironside joins us to talk Hawkeye Wrestling and college wrestling here. And his appearance, as always, brought to you by American Family Agent Kurt Gustafson on Johnson Avenue Northwest in Cedar Rapids, right across from the Johnson Avenue Hy-Vee. And we are indebted to Kurt, and he has been a longtime supporter for all of our wrestling discussions here, not only on the podcast, the Unash Dukes podcast, which we encourage you to go and become a subscriber to. You can do that on YouTube, and you can also do it and catch all of the podcast episodes on crmlivesports.com. We do appreciate it. And, a much happier trip back home from Lincoln, Nebraska. Mark, how are you?
Oh, great. It was a great environment, that dual meet. A fantastic environment. They put all their eggs into beating Iowa for sure. I mean, they pulled out all the stops. They sold the place out. They set record attendance. There was people standing room only all the way like around the rafters standing. I mean, they really for sure thought that this was going to be the year. Just like what happened at the Iowa State duel. They were going to just take us out. And good thing for the Hawkeyes, we actually showed up and came for the most part ready to wrestle, and that did not happen. And that's even without our normal starting 197 pounder that we were without, from the year with. So, but it was good. It was good.
Mark, a lot of directions we could go. And, to me anyway, watching the meet, it's not a stretch to think it could have been like something like 28-0 going to the last two matches. But I think not necessarily Joey Cruz, but it was Drake Ayala that set the tone. And Drake showed that he's more in the form of a national finalist in this match. He was aggressive, I thought, against a quality opponent. And to me, anyway, that set the tone. What did you think?
I agree 100%. I think it was really good for Cruz just to get the victory. Um, Honestly, he could have gotten more, and so could have Drake. Cruz came out. He got a takedown. He had to work really hard in the first period. He got after it. It was very offensive, and got his takedown right away. And then in that first period, but then after that, he kind of, no pun intended, but cruised the rest of the match and never really attempted to do anything else after that. And it was really bummed to see because he has a lot more in the tank and he's got a lot more to offer than just taking an easy, whatever it was, 4-1 victory or something like that, which I guess what I'm alluding to and getting at is that he could have really put a lot more spark into things for us than what he did. I mean, getting the win, that was good, but if he gets a 6, 7, 8 point major, that's even better. And he was capable of doing that. And that's one thing that's been frustrating a little bit. It's just guys shutting down once they do get a lead. Need to keep that going, keep that pace going, keep that attack going, and keep building. And like I always say, that's how you get better as a wrestler. You don't get better getting a takedown in the first minute or two and then doing nothing the rest of the match. You're not going to get better like that, and you're not going to get in better shape either. So, but then 133, Drake got taken down right away, and Van D, man, he came out. And he threw Drake down that time. Like he was fired up and ready to go. It's not like Drake came out and caught him sleeping a little bit and he had a bad match. Van D was as ready as he will ever be for a wrestling match in that wrestling match. And then Drake, after he got taken down, he kind of came out of it and started hitting his left-handed to high C. And man, I tell you what, that's an amazing shot. And we've missed that shot. But it wasn't just the shot, but it was also staying in great position while he was in on the shot, coming up to his feet, being patient with the finish, getting good, solid finishes, tough finishes when Van D was defending really, really well. And it wasn't easy. He didn't just fall over for Drake. But Drake's another one. We went into the third period, and I don't even remember what the score was, to be honest with you. But I just know that we only needed one more takedown to get a major. And we rode him for an entire minute of the third period, which we didn't need to because we already had our riding time. And then after a minute of riding, then we cut him. Like, my personal opinion, we should have cut him like right away. Like right away, we already got a ride time. We're not going to get a sniff of probably turning him or whatever. Let's just cut him, get another takedown, get the major, secure the major for sure. Because there's probably a lot better chance of securing the major with another takedown at that point in time and the way the match was going than turning him from the top position. So you get your let him go, get your takedown, and then ride him out and try to see if you can get a turn. But get that major, because that extra point right there, that could have been the difference in the duel meet. I mean, you don't know in a situation like that early on in a duel.
Ryder Block came out, got a pin. You got to see a pin, Mark, in a college wrestling meet. Congratulations. Tell you what, it was quick. It was tight. Um, Congratulations to him, because that kind of, I'm not going to say it sealed anything. The momentum, I think, went favor of Iowa at that point
For
in a
sure.
big, big way. Other people fed off of that. Congratulations to Ryder Block, who's had a really, really solid year for Iowa.
Yeah, we just need to get him to where he can wrestle hard like that for 7 minutes. And that was an enormous, enormous turning point in the dual meet, and for lots of reasons. But if you really think about it, the match I think might have been tied at the time, or we were up by a point or something like that. I can't remember for sure, but it was whoever was going to get a takedown in that third period right there was going to win the duel. And Ryder Block was exhausted. He was tired. But the thing about Ryder is he was still firing. He hit that shot. He switched it off to a single. Lamer tried to roll. Block did a great job. He squashed him in that position. He took away the roll. And then I thought, from where I was sitting without watching replay, I thought that Block actually locked up a cradle, is how it looked for me. But after I watched the replay later, he didn't lock up the cradle. He just had the head up here and his arm down here, kind of holding the legs, and he was able to secure it where it was. I mean, what's his last name? The referee, Angel
Rivera.
Rivera. I mean, he got down there. He didn't even have to really look. It was just, oh my gosh, he's pinned. Poop, oh, it's over. You know. But had he not gotten that takedown and fought really, really hard to try and get that takedown, and say Lamer scrambles and takes Block down, that's Lamer's match. In my opinion, that's the match. So that's like a 9-point swing right there for us in the duel meet. And what the duel end up? 17-16 or something like that? I don't even know.
22-14.
22-14, was it really? Wow.
You had all those Nebraska fans around you telling you different scores, obviously.
Yeah. But that was a big, 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 big swing in that duel. And like you said too, Mark, like that pretty much just took out the wind out of sails out of Nebraska. You know, that was kind of the dagger early on, and knowing that we were going to get to the heart of our lineup after the break, going into Caliendo at 165 and Patrick 74, and then even Gabe Arnold without Ferrari at 84. Even though those were going to be some toss-up matches, those ones were not gimmies for those guys. And the good thing is too is we won those 74-84. We won those toss-up matches, and that was big for us. And that's something we haven't been doing this year, and they went our favor. Now, it wasn't very pretty at 74. Patrick got the job done, but you need to score a takedown. You have to score a takedown. So Gabe Arnold, though, with Ferrari out of the lineup, he came out. He did really, really well. He's on the offense. He put himself in a position to win that duel or win that match, and then he took care of it against a guy that he was split with last year, 1-1.
A lot of chatter, Mark, about Angel Rivera, who you mentioned, and mainly on the Iowa side, especially after the Hardy Bailey match. I'm not an expert, but I thought Bailey got a takedown on the edge. It was not ruled a takedown, but a lot of chatter about Rivera, justifiably or not.
Very, very much so. I will say though, I did not think that was a takedown. I know all the Iowa fans will go against me on that, and probably the coaches and the team as well. But I didn't think it was a takedown, even after I saw the replay. Now, if it's one of those situations, maybe if you screenshot it and you take a still shot of something where it looks like a takedown. But I guess how I look at it, was there ever control? I mean, did he really technically ever have control of his opponent? And there was no way, in my opinion, that it was ever control. We did get the far ankle. He reached across. He got the far ankle. But when he did that, he was literally like Pete Rose in the, third base. He's just flat on his belly, his arms completely extended all the way out, and he had his hand on there. But you're in no position to control anything there. Um, but I mean, I wasn't. But the thing is you wait, you wrestle on the edge over and over and over and over and over again. That's where the momentum's going to take you. And we're out of bounds, and he's reaching to try and finish something while he's not. Wrestle like that in the center. Hit your shots in the center. Wrestle in the center, and then you don't have an issue like that. So, and that's just one thing that Bailey needs to do a much better job is keeping his butt to the center. I was just telling somebody the other day, I don't remember who, that wish you could put a shock collar on Bailey, and then every time he gets to the edge, you just shock him, and that will remind him to get his butt back to the center. Kind of like a dog on the counter. Just shock them so they get off the counter. It's just like, Bailey, get your butt back to the center. Circle, circle, circle. So, because he just wrestles with his butt on the edge the whole entire time, and you're asking for nothing but trouble. Same thing with Williams. That's, I mean, yeah, we gave up a stall call. And a lot of people want to complain about that stall call right there. What did we do to prevent it? First of all, we're wrestling on the edge. Secondly, we never came to our feet. We just let him push us out of bounds the entire way. And three, we never tried to circle there. We didn't do anything to try and prevent that. So we left that 100% in Angel Rivera's hand. Was it the right call or wrong call? Probably the wrong call, especially in that situation in overtime. But why are we there? And why didn't we do anything about it? Knowing the situation, why didn't we give Angel an opportunity to make that call? That's where my thinking goes. And the thing is, it's not hard. I mean, it's not that hard to wrestle in the center of the mat. It's not hard to circle. It's not hard to come up to your feet. It's just flat out being lazy in that particular situation. And you gave Angel an opportunity to make a call, and he did, and that's how it goes. So yeah. You play with fire, you're going to get burnt.
Yeah, agreed. Caliendo was good, got a major, and set the tone for the second half. And
Caliendo got hosed on a call. I don't know how that wasn't I don't know how that was not at least a 1-point escape call on the edge. I mean, people wanted a reversal, but at the very minimum, a 1-point escape. Terrible, terrible call. And then you go to 74 to Patrick's match, and he gets called in overtime in the first, 7-8 seconds of overtime, when he has an underhook and he throws him by, and then Minto tries hitting a shot on him. Oh, dang, stalling. We just pushed him right through the circle with an overhook and threw it by, and now he reshoots, and now we get called. Where did that come from? An Angel, that was a terrible call, because then he set himself up to get absolutely ridiculed by the Nebraska fans because he never called Patrick the rest of the 30 seconds, and Patrick wasn't stalling, but he wasn't shooting either. He kept circling and staying out of ties because Minto's kind of coming at him now because he has to, and that put Angel in a tough situation. I don't know why he saw it gave him any right to make that call so early in that overtime period. I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah, so I agree. Angel definitely, it was not a pretty refereed match by any means, but there's some things there that you just can't leave in the referee's hands. And just going to Patrick again. You know what? We get a takedown regulation. We're not here. Angel can't make that call. You don't put it in the referee's hands. I don't know how many times in my career you hear Coach Gable say you don't put it in the referee's hands. You just don't. And we do too many times. And then when things don't go right, then it's like sour grapes and you're blaming it on the referee. If you would have started wrestling at the first second instead of the last 30 seconds or whatever it may be, or overtime, then we would be here. We wouldn't be having this discussion right now. So you can say whatever you want about the referee or this or that, but let's talk about yourself for the first, 6.5 minutes or something.
Very true. Mark Hughes.
Yes. A couple other matches, I thought, you alluded to the Kennedy Minto match was just a war. It was a kind of a war, hand fighting and this and that, but nobody got a takedown. I want to talk about those upper weights. Arnold came out and got a big win. end of the day, somebody's going to get left out at the upper weights. And I don't think it's going to be Kennedy, and I don't think it's going to be Ferrari. How do you see the upper weights panning out?
I think I don't know. I think Gabe Arnold is a very versatile person and an awesome person to have in there as a guy when you need him, he's ready to go. And I think this is the best he's ever wrestled, to be honest with you. I think once they released him from the team last year and then they allowed him to come back, I think it was most likely an ultimatum. Your strikes are out. You don't get any more strikes. Your weight's going to be under control. You're going to show up every day. You're going to be on time. You're going to do this. You can do that. And I tell you what, I think it's helped Gabe a lot, and he's responded very positively. But it is Patrick's spot, and it is Ferrari's spot. So it's just he has to wait in the wings in case something happens. Like right now, Ferrari is a little dinged up, so he's out, and so Gabe gets an opportunity to be in there. Then the next question will be, okay, if Patrick and Ferrari are both healthy, come Big Ten time, do we bump him up to 97? Is that our best option at 97? Probably. Everybody's wanting to know why we're not wrestling Ludington more often. Well, he only has 5. He's a true freshman. He only has five matches, and we're gonna play that smartly. We didn't need him in there this last weekend. I mean, we didn't need him against Penn State because we're losing that dual meet no matter what right there in that situation. We didn't need him against Nebraska because we're going to win that dual meet. So instead of burning something that we really don't need him for the outcome of the duel, I think it was smart not to wrestle him. So, but that could change. I don't think Minnesota is going to be a threat like that this Friday night. But the following Friday night against Ohio State, that could be a difference. And then Oklahoma State, I think it's on February 22nd at Oklahoma State. That could be a difference. So we'll see. Or you can see Gabe Arnold in there. I don't know. I think a lot of it depends on the health of Ferrari.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think
is that an ankle? Is that an ankle?
I don't know 100%. I really, really don't know. I thought it was an ankle during the match, like the way that they went out of bounds and he got up and he was kind of looping back to the center. Definitely not a knee, but definitely either foot or ankle, something in there. But I don't know. I haven't asked. I was in the room Sunday, and I seen him. He just got done working out, but he wasn't working out like live wrestling with the team. He just got done working out on his own, most likely biking or something, staying off the injury. So, but it's not a knee, which is a good thing. So it's either ankle or foot.
7:00 Friday for Iowa and the Gophers. That's right in the Mark Ironside wheelhouse right there. So not too tired, not too early. That's perfect time.
Yeah.
So like you said, Iowa's heavily favored. This is not Minnesota of the past. They're getting better. I think it's starting to uptick a little bit, but it's still not the Gopher teams of the past, certainly.
No, but they have some good individuals, and I haven't seen their full lineup yet. I don't have the paper in front of me, but I do know that that's a dual meet that we should have for sure. But the way I look at it is this is an awesome opportunity to go out and take care of business against a respectable opponent. I mean, these guys aren't just bad and they're going to roll over for you. This isn't Michigan State or something, They're very, very well coached, and they're tough. They're good competitors. They're not going to roll over for you. So, but this is an opportunity for us to go out in a lot of matches and win decisively in something that maybe should be a 2 or 3 point match, and we can maybe turn it into a major and score more points instead of going out and okay, well, I'm ranked 5th and this guy's ranked 10th, so it's going to be semi-close. Well, it doesn't have to be close. You know how it doesn't have to be close? The Iowa women's basketball team just proved that on Sunday against Ohio State. It doesn't have to be close, okay? You can still blow them out of the water just because, it doesn't matter what you're ranked. And that's what I look forward to Thursday or Friday night. And that's what I'm hoping to see is that we just don't go in there and just take a lot of easy victory. Not that they'd be easy, but just kind of like, just take the win, just go out and get the win. Let's go out and get some takedowns. Let's go out and get some bonus. Let's go and freaking put some pressure on the guy for 7 minutes, and that's how you develop. That's how you get better. That's how you improve. That's how you're going to make gains throughout the Big Ten season, not by going out kind of like how Joey Cruz did and scoring one takedown and then completely shutting down after that, or Bailey, like what he did against, Penn State, getting one takedown early and then completely shutting down after that. That you don't get better doing that. And so we need to continue to keep attacking and stay on the offense and putting points on the scoreboard. Light that scoreboard up like a Christmas tree.
There you go. You and I got
Mark,
Okie State on Friday too.
What's that?
You and I and Okie State Friday night
Oh, yeah.
too.
Yeah. Where's that at? Okie State, I think. I'm
I
pretty
think
sure
it's at Stillwater.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that'll be. I mean, I love Schwab, you know that, but it's going to be ugly for them guys. I got a feeling. Not like last year, because Doug doesn't have the team that he had last year, and that's in Gallagher Arena. And I tell you what, Oklahoma State, they got it going on right now. That's for sure.
Mark, is AJ Ferrari strange, complicated? Do you know him at all?
I know him.
What's his deal?
He is. I wouldn't say strange, but he's different. He's fun. He's he tries really hard to do the right thing a lot of times. He really, I think, tries, but he's different for sure. And everybody, different strokes for different folks. Everybody walks at their own beat, and he definitely does. But he's a character. That's the best word I can probably describe him. And people enjoy watching him wrestle, even though it's not super offensive or anything like that all the time. But it's just more so like off the mat and what's it going to bring. I mean, how often do you see someone after the match keep the other guy on the mat and put his hand on his shoulder and pray for him at the same time? I mean, Rivera had to go over there and say, "Hey guys, let's go, break it up." And then AJ's like, "Amen." It's like, "Amen." I've never seen that before. That was a first. That was definitely a first. So, and then Keeter, poor Keeter, he's like caught in a rock and a hard place a little bit. It's like, well, do I say no right now, or like do I go back? I mean, I definitely wouldn't have. There's no way I wouldn't have. Or would have. There's no way. But Keeter, he went along with it or whatever. But you just got beat, and the guy's wanting to pray for it. Now, when Ferrari and what's his name for Ohio State?
Feldman.
He got beat. He didn't pray Feldman after the match was over when he lost. But when things are good, let's go ahead and get a little prayer in right now.
Hey, you got a big week coming up, man.
I do. I leave Sunday, going to Croatia, which is a new place for me. I've never been to Croatia before. There's a senior level ranking tournament there. What I mean by that is a senior level, like Worlds, Olympics, Olympic level wrestling, and the ranking tournament. So you build points in the international system to where that when you get to, like, say, the World Championships this year, based off of the 3 ranking tournaments they have throughout the season, throughout the off season, like right now, internationally, there's a bunch of tournaments, but there's 3 of them that are main tournaments that are called ranking tournaments, and you can build points. And the more points you get and build, so the more tournaments you go to, the more points you build, the higher the seed you're going to have at the World Championships this year. And the higher you do at the Worlds every year, then you continue those points. Those points continue to add up, and then they accumulate to the Olympic year. But every year, your points for the World Championships reset. So let's say, like an athlete had, and I don't know how they do it, let's just say 8 points last year going into the Worlds. Well, now everybody has 0. Okay, going into the Worlds this year, they've got to start all over. So they go to these ranking tournaments. So this next week, the Hawkeye Wrestling Club is sending Spencer Lee, Austin Asano, Stephen Buchanan, Kennedy Blades, and then also the Iowa Women's Wrestling Club going with them is Macy Kilty, who graduated from Iowa last year. And I've been working quite a bit with her and kind of coaching her and so forth. So I'm going to go over there and do some coaching. I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun. Be a good trip. So I'll be on the same flight and the same venue and be able to watch all those guys wrestle as well too. And Brandon Sorensen will be going over and coaching the HWC guys. So it'll be interesting, fun. The U.S. has all kinds of people going. They're sending an entire team 3 deep, typically at every weight, both men and women.
Great.
You like coaching, Mark?
I'm enjoying it. Yeah. I mainly coach Macy and have messed with coaching and teaching a little bit with Kylie Walker as well too, and even Kennedy a couple of times here lately. But it's something I enjoy doing. Yeah, I've really kind of Macy's the main one, and but she's awesome. Like she's so awesome. Like she's got a passion for it. She gets it. She understands it. I mean, this is her life, and she wants to win those a world title, Olympic title, and so. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. So I've never really throwing my hat in the ring as far as I mean, I've obviously done tons of camps and clinics and kind of mentored different people along the way, but to actually get in a room with someone like I am with Macy 2 to 3 days a week, and like tonight, I'm working with her and Kylie Welker both. It's fun. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, well, good luck. Happy landings, man.
Yeah. So it's been a while since I've stepped up foot on an airplane for a 9-hour flight. Not really looking forward to that, but we'll see.
And you lose time going there. So
yeah, 7 hours ahead. So next week, I don't know. I don't know what I'm taking my computer with me. So if it works out and I can dial in and we can have this from Croatia, we will do so. So I have to kind of PBE it and see what happens. And if we do, it's on Wednesday. So if we do Wednesday next week, I believe that's the day that Spencer, Austin, and Steven all wrestle. So if we do it at 9 p.m., which Iowa time, no, it'd be 9 p.m. Croatia time, then I should have the results from how those guys did from that day of wrestling.
all right. Well, we'll see. We'll see if the internet works in beautiful Croatia.
Okay.
All right. Hey, safe travels.
All right. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it. Good talking to you as always. Go Hawks Friday night. We need to get a big gap, big win.
You got it, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Mark's appearance, as always, brought to you by American Family Insurance agent Kurt Gustafson on Johnson Avenue Northwest in Cedar Rapids, right across from Johnson Avenue High V. Kurt, just a tremendous supporter of ours, and stop on by because he can help you out with your insurance needs, bundling policies, offering a variety of discounts, whether you're purchasing a car, buying property, maintaining an investment property, starting a small business, or leaving behind a legacy. See Kurt Gustafson Agency at American Family Insurance. And as we mentioned, thanks to Emil's Hideaway, our presenting sponsor, First Avenue Southeast in Cedar Rapids. Our other sponsors as well, Hunt Graphic Innovations, Dr. John Woolner, Epiphany Dermatology on Council Street Northeast, and Bim Ritter Sportswear at 817 2nd Avenue Southeast in Cedar Rapids for all their help. Couldn't do it without them. So we'll see. Mark, go to big country to try to be on internet with us.
Oh, that'd be a first. I mean, when we're doing that other thing, we had, I don't know the furthest guest away that we had, but this would definitely be a first for you and me.
I hope it works because I'm looking forward to talking to Mark from Croatia. I mean, are they going to have somebody there that's overseeing the whole thing that, if we're talking bad about the Croatian national wrestling team, they're going to pull the plug? I don't know.
I don't want any part of it.
those are the things we have no control over.
No.
At this point. Oh, brother. Before we go, a couple things. As we alluded to yesterday, news was not good for Taylor McCabe. She is out for the year with a knee injury. And if you missed our discussion about that and what's going to be the end result of all that with the Iowa women's basketball team, you can go back to Monday's podcast and listen to that. We encourage you to do so anyway. It was a good one. Go back and take a peek at it. And you can do that on our YouTube page at Unash and Duke's podcast on YouTube. You can go to CRM Live Sports. The link is out there on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those good things. So check that out for you. And Iowa men will take on USC 6 o'clock on Wednesday night, 4 o'clock Pacific time for the USC Trojans, who are coming off a last-second win over Wisconsin in Madison on Sunday. So that's a 15-5 USC team coming in. So that's another quad one opportunity, more than likely, or close to it for the Hawkeyes. Iowa State men are off until Thursday when they host Colorado. Shouldn't be a big problem for Iowa State in that particular game. I tell you what, Mark, I don't know if you got to see them last night. Arizona, holy cow. That's like Illinois, except they can go inside and not only shoot 3-pointers, but their 7-foot Europeans can go inside. They are good. They took apart BYU last night in Provo. That was impressive.
Yeah, that definitely was, and maybe not a big surprise because Arizona's been that good all year. But go back to McCabe. It's what everybody feared. It's terrible for her. It's not good for the Iowa women's basketball team. I think the Hawkeyes will overcome, but Arizona was terrific last night. I'm looking forward to Michigan and Nebraska tonight. I mean, Nebraska unbeaten as Michigan, and then at our home against Illinois later in the week. So it's going to be a very interesting week to find out about Nebraska. And no, that's going to be a tough game for the Iowa men. Protect your home court, right?
Yes.
Because those things add up.
Michigan, Nebraska tonight. Boy, you never thought you'd say that in basketball, that could be the game of the year in the Big Ten Conference, but it could be the game of the year in the Big Ten Conference. Speaking of basketball, we're going to have a special guest on our next podcast, Jeff Johnson of the Gazette, going to talk some high school hoops with us and look ahead to what he knows about the Colonel's upcoming season and then a little hockey as well. We can talk about a lot of things with JJ, and we'll do that coming up on our next podcast. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I haven't talked to JJ for a while. I want to ask him about this Alabama rule and in the high school ranks that can have a Catholic league and a public league. And we've talked about a little bit in the past, whether that will ever come to fruition in Iowa, but other states have it. Worth a question.
Yeah. So Jeff Johnson joining us on our next Unash and Dukes podcast. Thanks to Mark. Thanks to all our great sponsors. And we'll talk to you next time.
You got it. Talk then.
All right. You've been listening and watching the Unash and Dukes podcast. Thanks, everybody. And thanks to all our great sponsors. Talk to you next time.